right, y'all. We are back for another episode of the Kitty Box. Make sure you are liking, commenting, subscribing, and that you are active in the chat. How are y'all doing?
Blessed and never stressed. How are y'all?
Same here. Doing well, looking great, feeling great. I smell great. I'm just,
Thriving
I'm
in
being silly. I'm
abundance.
sorry. I'm being silly.
Limitless, honey. Yes. Y'all better be.
I'm
This is
living.
Valentine's Day weekend. Do y'all have any plans? This is Valentine's Day weekend. What are y'all's plans for this weekend?
Also, Valentine's Day weekend, I have something booked, so I will be doing a private dinner for a couple. So that's what I have planned. Definitely not, personal plans regarding myself. So I'm definitely going to be catering to other people and getting that bag. I guess that coin actually is me, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cheers to that.
Hello. Getting to the bag. Yes. Me, I'll probably be serving someone's husband. you know how,
You know how you do
I'm
it.
just I'm just playing, girl. I don't do stuff like that anymore, okay? Anymore.
Y'all are crazy.
No, I don't have any plans though. I'll more than likely be working. What day is Valentine's Day on? I'll be working.
I think
Yeah.
Tuesday. Is it
Yeah.
Tuesday?
Okay.
Okay.
Tuesday. I'm a homebody, and plus, Omarion is still on his world tour. So if I'm going to be entertaining, it'll probably be at my apartment, just a Netflix and chill type situation, something really simple. Um, because I'm not in a relationship, I don't necessarily expect much from this holiday. But happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there, all of the lovers out there. Happy Valentine's Day to y'all. What are we talking about tonight?
All right, y'all. So the first topic on the list is, honey, what was your first introduction to relationships? How did this shape your vision of what relationships should look like to you? Just love in general. It could be from your parents. It could be from what you saw on TV. It could be from a song you heard. It could be from any experience. Maybe you saw your older brother, your older sister, or it could be a neighbor, or, anything that you
Oh,
absorbed around you where you were like, okay, well, this is what relationships are.
my parents were divorced when I was 3 years old. Therefore, I never saw them in a relationship or even remember them being in a relationship. However, they did have great co-parenting skills up until like my late teenage years when my dad remarried. That's neither here nor there. But my grandparents, which is my mom's mom and her dad, they've been together since they were like 14 or some shit like that. And so that's definitely a relationship that I saw love in. It's definitely not or was not the best relationship. Also in combination with The Cosby Show. That is one of my favorite shows. That was more so my influence as far as what I want in a relationship. Viewing Cliff and Claire Huxtable and the kids, the Brownstone. She was an attorney, which, that kind of was my path as well by going to law school and shit like that. I would love a doctor if I could get one. But definitely just the dynamic and the friendship, the amazing friendship that they had on set and, what they put on, for us every week on TV. That was definitely something that I hope to have like that in my brain. As much as I'm like fuck men and shit like that at this point, that's still like my ultimate goal is to be like a Claire and a Cliff Huxtable and I want 4 kids. Like that's what I want, and cute little house. Everybody, just being the best that they can be, and definitely having a positive influence on the kids. That's something that I want. So I would more so give it to the Cosby Show. That was long-winded as fuck, but the Cosby Show I would definitely give it to.
Okay.
And my grandparents, although it wasn't the best, but that was probably my introduction to love.
It was love all around me when I was coming up. Like I was always in church. My grandparents on my neither of my grandparents were married. Well, my grandfather on my maternal side, he's married, but my grandmother, once they divorced, she never remarried. She's had boyfriends, and my grandmother on my paternal side, she was Sister Mary Clarence, so she did not believe in no man after my grandfather died. But my mom and dad and all of their friends were married, and all of my friends' parents at church were married, and in school, muffins for moms, donuts for dads. So I always saw a family aspect. So I think that's why when it comes to relationships, even now, I'm really traditional in like only feeling comfortable when there's a feminine and a masculine energy in the relationship. Like I need the differentiation of who's the girl, who's the guy. Like whether it's two women, two men. Like my mind just has a hard time computing like two feminine people or two masculine people together because of what I saw coming up. And even when I saw gay relationships for the first time, there was still that heterosexual energy there. So yeah. And my first relationship was more of a masculine guy. He was a linebacker for his football team. So and little on me, I'm 5'7", and I was shorter than this then. So
Mama was getting tossed, child. Stop it.
Shout out to the 5'7" crew. I'm 5'7" as well.
Yeah, but I've always been attracted to men that are
the
bigger
little
than
mamas.
Yeah. I need to look up at you. I need to.
Exactly.
I would like for you to be bigger than me. Yeah, I dated one guy that was like the same height. That was the one that cheated from the last episode. The one that kept cheating. I should have known. He was the only one that wasn't my type. But what's good is that he reached out to me on Facebook not too long ago, and he apologized for everything. Not that I needed it, but it was just good to hear that he knew he had fucked up and that he felt remorse about it. We're not cool, we're not friends, but that was great.
I remember y'all read me about that.
What?
I think it was more so YB. It was more so YB that had read me about
I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with being friends with the ex. There's one ex, my first, the football player. I want to be his friend so bad because we get along, but every time we talk, it's for him like, when we go on a date, when we gonna get back together, and it's just like, why can't you accept it? That's not what I want. Like, I just want to be cool with you. Like, why is that an issue? And so he is this like, either we're gonna be together or not at all. And then he's very like childish. I did a story time one time because he and we'll get back on topic. I'm sorry. We were supposed to go to the movies, but we were trying to go as friends. And when I started getting like friendly with him, he got upset and like left me in the theater. Luckily, I'm me. So the couple next to me was like, you want to share covers? You want to share food with us? I was trying Greek food for the first time because it was like a studio movie grill. But I told the story on my YouTube. And he ran across the video and cursed me the fuck out. And was just like, that's not your story to tell. It's my story, so you should have consulted with me. And I'm just like, it's not even that big of a deal. Nobody knows it's you. Nobody at all knows that it's you.
Where do y'all be finding these motherfuckers? He left you at the movie.
Honestly, this is gonna take it back. I found him because we started dating when I was like 17, 18. I found him on BGC. Before there was I found him on BGClive.com. I sure did. And we are still in each other's lives right now. We don't talk that much, but we still communicate this many years later. Almost 20 years later, Jesus.
Please don't put nothing into long numbers like that because it's just a constant reminder of mortality, girl. Like, ugh.
No.
But life is to be lived. I like being 31. You should like being 34.
I like my age where I'm at because I feel like I've experienced enough. I'm mentally where I'm gonna fucking be. Career-wise, I'm still working on that shit. Like, we all know that. Like, I'm building my shit, but I'm doing pretty well for myself. But I like where I'm fucking at versus being 30.
No, I'm not saying that I, wish on a star to live in the past. I'm just saying that, like, it's just I can't believe, like, it is true what they say, in the twinkling of an eye, you can be changed. And to think that it feels like yesterday I was 18. But to know that all of these years have went by and it's just like, girl, like where has the time gone? You know?
I have a hard time believing I'm in my 30s too. I feel like fuck, like I 30, goddamn. But YB, what was your first introduction to relationships and love and all of that?
For those that know a little bit of my story, you know, I was raised in foster care. So, like, my first introduction was very volatile, very, you know, disturbing as hell because I used to see my stepfather abuse my mother and getting her hooked onto drugs and things of that nature. And then the physical abuse would happen to me and my siblings and shit like that. So I was like, girl, the first introduction was extremely toxic. And it was like, girl, like, stay away, vampire girl. You're not going to suck the joy and the great things out of my spirit, girl. So that was my first like observation, being young and just witnessing those things and just seeing how toxic love can turn into something that, girl, you never could have even imagined. Like, my mom ended up losing all her kids because of this bullshit. She became an avid addict and things like that. Just to see the things that she would drag herself and her kids through, all for a man. So off rip, I had a negative experience towards relationships. And oh my God, now that I think about it, girl, could that be why I'm so
that's where my mind is going. Like,
could that be like, because as kids, I preach this all the time, we're sponges. We absorb a lot of things that we're around. And especially at that time when you're that young, you're very impressionable. And that could be like why oh wow. Girl, shout out to the kitty box, honey. There's a therapy session going on right here.
Yes, God.
But, and that is how, because an attachment to that is, you know, like, how did, you know, this first introduction shape, you know, your vision to relationships? And I think that's probably now why I choose the men I choose and do the things that I do. Wow, I didn't think about it like that.
Because think about it, like, you go after hood ass type of niggas, those thug types, you know, that's
trash. You know, they're toxic as hell.
I was about to say I was gonna say
you know what though?
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to just attribute that to seeing your mom and stuff. I don't want to just attribute, because that's the image that's put out there. The baby boys, the this and the that, and the thug rappers. It's like, we all want a thug. I want a thug. You know, like, you remember.
But you know, but reaching back though, you think about it, you see everybody gravitate towards this thing, and although you have witnessed the turmoil and the destruction of that person going through what they went through with that type of guy, again, it's almost like they say rules are meant to be broken. Humans were attracted like moths to the flame of trouble. So could that be something that I unknowingly, you know, absorbed in my own? Because, yeah, watching them go through, and it wasn't just her, it was like throughout life. My homegirls were going through domestic violence situations. My sister went through a bunch of crazy shit with the men that she was with, observing, you know, just, and even in other foster homes I was living with, just seeing just how broken everything was amongst the man and the woman. Like, oh, child.
I have a history of like not drawing a clear line in the sand when it comes to these men. Like, I'll let them do things and I'll know that they are wrong and I'll overlook it, you know, to some degree. Like, the situation that I was like so crazy over, like, there were a number of things that could have alarmed me to leave prior to. With that boyfriend who was cheating, there were a number of things that could have alarmed me to leave, but I come from a lineage of people who be like, Mr. Charlie is just the man, you know, and accept it, you know, he's all right, he trying, he's a black man, and so I accepted remnants of his potential because I wasn't even requiring more. I just wanted a man because I saw that everybody else had one, so I thought that I was incomplete without one.
And I hate that old school way of thinking because that breeds codependency. Like, I hate that for people because like you hop from one thing to another thinking that like that old school way of seeing those grandmothers tell their granddaughters that shit, their daughters that stuff, and then that cycle trickles down for generation and generation, and you wonder why everyone is so unhappy in relationships they never should have been in,
Right.
tied to these toxic ass men or toxic ass women. You know what I'm saying? Because the pendulum swings both ways for that situation. And it's just, it just creates it breeds a generation of messed up, broken ass people. And we find ourselves sitting in situations like this, having these discussions. Ooh, girl.
And now, like, that I'm listening to this, like, most of the women in my family, well, on my mom, actually on my dad's side too, because he only has one sister, but most of the women on my mom's side, they're all single, except for my grandma and my grandpa or whatever. But they're very like, fuck a dude, like I don't need that shit, and they're perfectly content with being single. Maybe that's where I get my shit from.
That's probably where you get it from.
Well, I'm like, I don't have time for
That's your mentality.
You know
like
what I'm saying?
You that up. Yeah.
They all have the mentality like, fuck that bullshit. That's some bullshit. And they're all single. So maybe that's where I get that bullshit from. And I wouldn't really call it bullshit. Just that's where I get that from.
That thought process.
That trait. Yeah, that trait. Thought process, yeah.
But maybe, all of our situations have not only made us who we are, but in a way, I believe that we've all been protected by way of the way we grew up. Like, your fuck these dudes mentality, I'm not finna, let these men take advantage of me, has probably saved you from a lot of heartache. We up here going through it, and you like, bitch, I can't relate because you had a no tolerance zone. Whereas we experienced something different, and that then teaches you something, and opens you up to a different perspective of what life was like.
But you know what? Like, that can kind of be a double-edged sword. Because a lot of times I always wonder, damn, have I just written somebody off that could have been the person for me? You know what I'm saying? So it's sometimes like writing, like, and I accept that and I understand it, that sometimes writing people off too early may not necessarily be the best thing.
So what are we doing to change that?
I'm not going to say that I'm going to compromise more because I learned from my last situation that compromising. No, let me go back. Compromising shit when it comes to my happiness, I will never do that. But little small traits, little things that I've kind of been like, ooh, you do this, fuck that. And I've had conversations with y'all about even just different types of guys. Like little things that you're like, oh, I'm not dealing with that. Oh, you do this, I'm not fucking with you. You're too feminine, blah, blah, blah. I've learned to kind of take in certain things and say, oh, okay, we're all gay. This is what it is. So I can compromise on certain things. Certain people go through certain experiences. Oh, I can compromise with that and your thought process regarding that. But if it's going to affect my happiness, I'm not fucking with it. And you can stay where the fuck you at.
So could you date Santana? Or a Santana type of person?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure.
Absolutely not. No shade, Santana, girl. I love you down.
How feminine, based on a scale of...
But
let's use people we know.
Not
let's use people we know. On a scale of, let's use reality show girls. The web reality show girls. On a scale of Robert and Trey Howard, how far on the scale are you willing to go?
I know this bitch is a 10. I guess I would go probably. Okay, wait. Who would be the 5? Let's do a 5.
Anybody in between. I'm just saying.
Eric James.
As feminine as Trey Howard, as masculine as Robert Ray. So anybody fits in that.
Probably a 6.
But what type of person? What aesthetic? Like, name a person on the Dallas cast that you talk to.
Why are you trying to get me? And I live with these.
Like George.
Y'all know I live with these whores. Like, I'm in
So
Dallas.
I'm just saying that aesthetic. I'm saying that aesthetic so we can all have a clear understanding of what type of how feminine you're willing to go. So maybe like a George,
Eric James.
like an Eric James type of girl.
Or Dennis. Premier.
Oh,
Premier.
Look. I like Dennis. Dennis is cute. I would say Dennis and maybe a George. But see, I don't really know these girls personally, so I don't know what they give. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what they give.
Well, you right, honey, because when we close the doors of their life, child, we figure out they're all little women's.
But see, when they're on, on our screens here, you know what I'm saying? They give different type of teas.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say Dennis.
Okay.
Dennis is definitely masculine, but he definitely has a feminine side. And I could deal with that.
Remind us to tell you about something when we stop them.
Child, I think I know what it's about. Whatever.
Remind us to tell you about
Whatever, girl.
I got a question for you, bitch. Because I saw something in a comment, and I was like, wait a minute, did something go down that I wasn't privy to?
What? Okay, we'll talk about it.
Okay. Okay, so I'll say it just so you won't be out there by yourself. On a scale from Robert Ray to Trey Howard.
But is Robert really a 10? Like, let's... No shame.
I'm just saying, like, if I'm going to use Dallas, he's the most masculine figure on the show. Yeah. I'm in my mind, I went for the most masculine and the most feminine guy. And I'm just saying any other guy could fall in between. So in between those, I would probably say Robert, or I could talk to that's pretty much it. Because once you start like exhibiting like too much, I start getting uncomfortable. Like I'm still not at the point of like both of us carrying purses. No
women's.
I just can't, man. And I know that makes me sound like vain, but it's just my preference. Like I'm not there yet. Although, and I was talking to a friend about this. There are times, and I guess it's because I work out now, that I am in touch with my masculine side. So if I see, I may not go as far as to try to like get no action, but I have seen a couple bottoms like no makeup, just like feminine guys, like naturally feminine guys like us, and was just like, okay, like, and I find myself looking at ass more. So, maybe that's me, being more flexible in that area, but I think I'll be able to go like super feminine ever.
Okay. Definitely Robert. But I could see me like with the premiere.
I could do that.
I could be like
about a 6.
He's like in the middle. I'll give him in the middle. Yeah. That's about as good as that'll go on that end for me. But yeah, premiere. Cause I'm sorry, girl. Like I just can't. I can't with the women's girl. Like it's just not.
So what about Daddy Charles?
No. I love Charles. Don't get me wrong, but he's serving that can't get enough of your love, baby. Like he's serving. I just.
Let me go on record. Okay. See, I'm not even gonna do that. I ain't gonna do it.
Don't know why.
I'm not doing it. Huh?
Don't know why. I love Charles's personality, but I've seen him in his moments where he has, dun, 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 dun.
You've seen other people that you selected in those moments as well.
You're wrong, bitch. You're wrong. I mean, yes, but that definitely, in a lot of ways. I mean, okay, something else you said. I found myself recently, I'm not even going to lie, I was pondering these app streets, girl, and I got hit up by a twink. And the twink saw my profile and already knew what I was about. So immediately she should have thought, girl, you was going to get blocked and deleted, girl. That's what eventually happened. I blocked and deleted the girl because no, man, Pam, we're on the hunt for the same thing, girl. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a lion, you're a cheetah, bitch. Get the fuck out of my lane, okay? Hello, God. So I had actually thought about it after the fact, and I was like, you know what? I could definitely see myself like slutting one of these girls out. Like, I think I could.
Unblock her.
No, I'm good. She was really thirsty, girl. I don't do thirsty people. No, ma'am. I don't have time for that. But like, I thought about, like, I have done, we've talked about it before, where I have actually bent dudes over before in the past. It's not something I normalize or try to normalize. I probably done like 2 or 3 times in my life, but I'm not gonna, like, I have found myself pondering on, at least the sexual aspect of it. Just plow these girls. They want to get plowed. Like, because I feel like for the moment, like, I have to go back to my old way of thinking sometimes. I know I said I should not do that, but if it's just the sex part of it, I can be like Cinderella, and as soon as we're done, girl, everything goes back to normal. Like, I know that sounds a little.
Janet Jackson. Oh, so you doing the bending? Oh man!
Like I always tell y'all, as y'all get older, y'all would definitely be more open to different things. Especially if you have that connection with a person. If he likes to get fucked every now and then, fuck him, and then go back to doing what you're doing.
That was actually a perfect segue to our next topic. Like, how do y'all view marriage?
Can I go first and get it out the way?
Yes, and let me also throw this in there. How do y'all view marriage, and what does a perfect ceremony look like to y'all? Go.
Okay, I'm starting to be in the mind frame that no longer exists in this time period. Monogamy, first of all, I feel like has been rooted out. It's been gutted to the core, and it's been tossed into the lake of fire for eternity. I blame that on a lot of different factors, especially in our social climate. There's just a lot of crazy shit going on in our society where people just don't value monogamy or relationships anymore. It's like I said earlier in the other episode, people are getting together for convenience. People are getting together for assistance. They're not getting together because they actually have bonded or courted one another. They care about each other. They're actually thinking about a future and a life together with just each other. I think the world has provided so much laziness, and on top of that, options, to the point where these men and also women, gays, whoever you want to say, it's like a buffet for us now. The world is literally our oyster, and people have been speaking that. These rappers have been telling us that. These singers have been telling us that. These actors, these TV shows, these movies have been letting us know that, girl, we can have it all. So why not? And I think that that's bleeded in, especially into this generation of people, to think that, okay, I don't fuck monogamy when I can have 5 different women in a week, or I can have a girlfriend, a wife, and a mistress type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? And so no one takes it seriously. So for me, I would like marriage, but I keep thinking about it like, would I be throwing myself out there just to get hurt? Again, I know I got some things I need to work on in that regard, but I go to thinking about it like, no one's staying married long anymore. Again, because no one's value anything. There's so many options out here. And I'm just over the idea of this thing in my head, this dream that I have of walking down somebody's aisle, girl, and becoming Mr. of the Mister. And it actually being something. Because fuck the wedding if the long term isn't going to work out. You know what I mean? We just spent all this money. Well, he spent all his money, hello God, on this. You know what I'm saying? For nothing, girl. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to miss out on the fucking red velvet cake and everything because I'm trying to bottom for our honeymoon. That's going to make me be pissed off even more if I have to think about 20 years ago when we went through all of this stuff. Girl, I'm on a tangent, but to close my shit out on this, shit. It's a nice thought. It's a nice thought. It's a nice dream.
It is a nice thought. If you had your, in a perfect world, what would a perfect ceremony look like? What would your ceremony? Would it look traditional? That's what I'm asking. Would it look
No, I
traditional?
don't do the church themes. No church. It definitely would be something like in a rustic barn type of vibe, really cute, really elegant, but still rustic. Hello God. Very or even a beach setting. I wouldn't mind that. Something cute. Ambience to me is everything. I don't want to be no stuffed up church or some rented building at the Holiday Inn, child, at NBC Suites or whatever, girl. Put me out in nature, girl. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm black and red is my color. Hello, God, y'all know that by now. So things will be dressed up in black and red, really cute and balanced. Um, Shit, I don't know who I'm inviting because, girl, please. I got to think about people who's gonna bring, because only people who's invited is the one who's bringing a gift, and I unfortunately associate with brokey D's. Okay, okay, and girl, please, like they, girl, show up to my shit with a gift card, or you will be slapped. So, you know what I'm saying? No, ma'am. Definitely food catered by yours truly down here. Hello, God. His company, Hello, God, will be definitely catered because we don't need none of these girls out here that has this been done broccoli. Okay, we need the professionals, honey. So Jason, his company will definitely be hired in at Daddy's expense. Hello, God.
But see,
And eating.
I don't want to work your wedding. Like,
No, your company will be working, but you're not working.
But see, I would have to be kind of like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Child, you gonna be.
You know,
You gonna be so far advanced in living in your dream and your career, child, that you can trust the people you done hired and put on.
I guess. Well, yeah, the way you moving, it'll definitely be,
You know what I'm saying?
hard to the future. But no shade. Like.
Child, girl, you fired before you even get hired. Girl, please, she's fired before she gets hired, child. Mm-mm.
No!
Look.
Anyways, just something really cute, good music, all of my hits. I have a playlist in my head of what will be played at the reception, honey. Mostly Mariah Carey music. Anybody who doesn't like it, take them out back, flog them, and beat them in the streets, girl, please. Okay? They will be handled and dealt with. We have security. Will be on deck. That'll be my man's hood cousins dressed in security shirts. Hello, God. Like they had on G Status.
G Status.
Remember they had that guy in that security shirt. They wrote security on the shirt, girl. They just wrote security on the shirt. Child. I'm sorry, child, but just real cute, real elegant, small, something intimate. I don't know a lot of people, and if I do know a lot of people, they definitely aren't coming. Something tells me that these things that are trying to choke the life out of us, all these variants of things, girl, I don't need a big, just real intimate, real cute, real peaceful, and I would rather spend the money, the most of our money on our honeymoon, because, yeah, I definitely want to live. Just something cute. I hope it happens for me. I hate to be so bleak. I hate to be so, turned off by those thoughts. Hopefully that changes. Hopefully, someday the Prince Charming does come around and I can experience those fairy tales. I would love to. And I would like it for not to be a fairy tale. I used the wrong word, but hopefully fairy tales can actually happen. I hope so.
For sure.
I got some big ass feet, so I don't think a glass slipper is going to do the trick. Okay. And I don't lose shoes, bitch. I done paid too much for them shoes, girl. Cinderella was crazy. That's what happens when you give white girls shit. They don't appreciate nothing. Girl, your fairy godmother done came through and done blessed you with these crystal shoes from Tiffany & Co, bitch. Hello, God. And you going to lose a shoe.
If they were the right size, then they wouldn't have came off.
That is true.
That bitch was pumping down them stairs. Right.
Child.
Falling off.
She had some of the ways. She had to
Mama had to go, honey. Imagine if she wouldn't have made it in time. Would she have died in the pumpkin?
No, her clothes would have just turned to rags and stuff. She would have been exposed.
Because remember, the pumpkin was the carriage. So imagine, child, we have to talk. I'm sorry.
Okay, I just fucking forgot what we were talking about.
No, we're talking about weddings. So for me, I do believe in marriage. I do want to get married, and I want my wedding to be really simple, nothing too much. I want 4 costume changes. I want a full production. I want a live band.
That's not simple, bitch. 4 costume changes.
Yeah. Okay. So when I first come in,
you just said a full production. That's not simple.
A simple production.
Bridezilla.
Go ahead, girl.
I want to come in, very light, petite people as angels hanging from the ceiling. I want,
come on, Tyler Perry.
Springtime.
Right.
I love her.
Have my little changes or whatever, and then one of those 4 changes will be for the reception because I don't want to wear the same outfit. I want really good food. I will be bottoming the following day because I'm eating. Fuck all that. I am eating, but and then I want the wedding to be. I want flowers everywhere. I like the smell of certain flowers, so I want real flowers. I hate white though. So maybe I do not like white. Only because it's so hard for me to keep clean and it just looks like danger. Like whenever I see white, I just see a mess waiting to happen. I want really different colors. Like a maroon and like a gold or like a soft rose pink or something like that. I want different colors. We're not both wearing tuxes because my shit is going. Y'all already seen one of my outfits, and that bitch was at the Met Gala. And she had a whole fucking helmet to go. I think
simple, right?
Without the helmet,
simple.
But yeah, I want all of my family and friends there. I want it to feel like a party, like a celebration. I don't want it to feel like I spent all this money and you can't even enjoy yourself. Like, enjoy yourself, have fun, sharing this love, and yeah. I don't want a traditional life. Like, I want to travel. I want different houses. I want to be in a place in my career where the first 5 years of my kids' life. Because that's another thing. I want kids, and I want to do the artificial insemination, where I have I just want to. That's it. I want a set of twins. One is his, one is mine, and she's carrying them both at the same time. And I want to take the first 5 years off to just pour into my kids. I want to learn who they are, take them to school, pick them up, be involved in the school process and everything. And yeah, that's my life.
Okay, well, I'm a little different. Almost opposite of you, Kat. I definitely want more contemporary, modern, white with black, maybe specks of gold. I want it super clean, super white. Definitely on the modern side. I actually want a traditional relationship, and to kind of go back, I do want that traditional shit. I want a husband. I want 4 kids. I think I've stated that previously. I just want the regular life. And like I said, my go-to has always been the Cosby Show. Although they have 5 kids, I want 4. But I want that traditional, standard, kind of traditional marriage. I want this person to be my best friend. And I also want to build a life with this person. But as far as the wedding, like I said, I want as much white as possible. Clean, contemporary, modern. I do want live music. I want great food, great cocktails, because y'all know I am mother cocktail.
We know.
But I want it to be a big ass party, and I want it to represent who I am as well as whoever he may be, But I just want it to be a big ass party. I don't want it to feel so wedding like. And my absolute dream would be to have Erica Badu sing at my wedding reception because that is my favorite neo soul artist. And actually, fuck that. I would like Sade to perform at my wedding reception. Like,
Yes.
that actually, like, a song, Cherish the Day, that would definitely be my wedding song. That's one of my favorite songs by Sade. But,
Cherish the day.
but I feel like Erica Badu, like Erica turns it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need
She does. That's what I was gonna suggest. Maybe have Sade like sing as you like walk down the aisle.
right.
You know, really as part of like the intimate part of the actual.
And I would love, because I don't like that, you know, I mean, it's not a bride and groom, and although I said more traditional, but I want it more modernized, especially since we're two men. I want to walk down the aisle together. I think that's cute. I definitely want men and women on each side. Like, you have your brides, well, shit, not bridesmaids, but you know what I mean? Like, you have your female friends and your male friends, your groomsmen, whatever, on your side, and I have the same on my side. And just have them organized by height. It doesn't have to be females on one side, men on one side. But
Will y'all do bachelor parties?
Yeah, I'm having fun.
for what? I mean,
I'm having fun. Clean fun. The same type of fun that I would have as a married man.
you know what? I would low-key kind of do what they did in Noah's Ark.
Yeah. That's
Kind
cute. Yeah.
Like a joint thing. Like, I think that's cool. And you know what? Like, my brother and my sister-in-law.
So you taking all of us to Martha's Vineyard? Thank you, Jace. We appreciate it.
Well, look, my brother and my sister-in-law took everybody. We went to the Dominican Republic for their honeymoon, and they just wanted like a big ass party. So it was my mom, me, my cousins. Like, it was just a big party, and we had a great ass time. So, like, something non-traditional in that sense, like, I'm cool with that as far as a bachelor party, even maybe the honeymoon. Like, if I could afford it, you know what I'm saying? Take all my bitches, like, bitch, let's go. Let's go.
You supposed to get Papa to cut that check for you and your friends. You and your friends Daddy gotta cut that check for you and your homegirls.
Cute little yacht
Well,
tees.
you know, I ain't settling for no bullshit, but I definitely just want that traditional life. You know, I want to come home, and I'm a chef. Like, I love to cook, so I cook dinner, and I'm not necessarily into the roles, but let's do what we're best at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to cook. Let me handle that shit. You know, I'm cool with that.
Because you don't need Daddy making you no damn bologna and cheese sandwiches, because we already know you're gonna cut him down, girl. We already know.
See, I know this might have been the last episode, but bitch, knowing who you are, knowing who you want, and knowing what your breaking points are, we wouldn't be in a marriage, nigga, if you talking about making a motherfucking bologna sandwich for me,
Yeah,
bitch.
I don't eat bologna either. No.
Bitch, we don't
I'm
do
just
that.
not a bologna girl. No.
I haven't touched bologna since elementary school, honey.
Bologna and hot dogs, no God.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't eat
I
either
always
of
told
those.
as a kid, you don't eat bologna and hot dogs because they eat that shit in jail. That's what they get people in jail. Period.
Well, health-wise, you're not supposed
That's
to eat it because
shit. Like, we didn't.
it's the leftovers. It's the leftovers of the carcass,
shit,
and that's why you're not supposed to. Yeah, it's the bullshit. You're not supposed to eat that stuff.
Yeah.
Round up bullshit.
That's why I get mad at the black community sometimes, because they be making chitlins and pig's feet. I'm like, do y'all not realize that we're being raised on the same thing our ancestors were forced to eat, because that was the leftovers that the masters would give them, the scraps. And y'all bitches, I was in a couple of foster homes where they're talking about, oh, eat this pig feet. Girl, the devil's a lie. Sorry. Cast me out of
in my life. I would never eat that shit. And I said, bitch, that's slave food. I don't eat that. I'm not a slave. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Girl, we finna get canceled, girl. We finna get canceled. And Black History Month too, girl. We finna get canceled. God.
That's slave food. Stop eating that. That's slave food. No, ma'am. We're not slaves anymore.
Girl, we finna get canceled right in Black
Okay, no. Before we close
off topic. What's tea?
Oh, so just according to the topic, real quick though. Oh, you want to go, Kat?
No. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say. So, what are some things that you think that will make your marriage last? Because we see a lot of girls that get married. We saw earlier that the girls be getting married, and 6 months later or 92 days later, if you're Kim Kardashian child, you are down there to the courthouse getting annulments and things.
Oh no. Kim was 72. She didn't even.
Oh,
Make
my
it
bad. My bad.
72.
It was one of the two.
Communication definitely, and get to know these people. People in the past, historically, traditionally would date for years. And around like the 5 or 10 year mark, then you pop the question. Then they be engaged for 3 to 5 years. So these people know these people. So like your grandparents' days, they met at 14. They started dating at 14. So by the time they got married, they knew exactly who the fuck the other person was. And I think a lot of times we marry aesthetics and what we think a person, we marry representation. And once that mask comes off and the authenticity starts to seep in, and you're like, wait a minute, like we're not even compatible. I was watching somebody reviewing Forces Family Matters, and they was just like, they love each other. They don't like each other. And I think that's important as well. Like, if friendship is the foundation, and I say this all the time, if friendship is the foundation, when the relationship and the romance crumbles or gets stale, you have something to stand on. So if y'all's marriage or y'all's relationship or, everything is kind of getting stale, that's when you can say, fuck all this romantic shit. Let me talk to my friend. What's going on? Like, I feel like I'm losing. Like, y'all can have that conversation, but if there's no foundation of friendship or just a clear line of communication, then you get more of what I see on an opposite side of people like talking to their friends and their siblings and their mom and their dad about all of their problems instead of going to the person. So they, like I said, they go to their mom or their dad for all of their problems or their co-workers or whatever, and the person who needs to hear what's going on is completely oblivious. Meanwhile, he or she is doing the same thing. And y'all are coming home every day angry, upset, and what was once a safe haven is now a prison. And then some people stay in relationships out of comfortability too. After you've been with somebody for so long, even if it doesn't work out, you don't want to start over and rebuild a whole new life with somebody else.
But isn't that like convenience though? I thought that does you a disservice though. Like, okay, we've been together for 20, 15, 20, 30 years, child. Girl, I've already seen you naked. You've already seen me naked. We have kids or whatever the case may be. I just think like, because you're going to end up living in the world of resentment at some point or another. Just if you're with someone just for convenience and comfortability, if you're not actually happy, I mean, but I guess to each his own, child. I mean, that's why a lot of great grandparents stayed together too, because they just was like, hey Joe, hey Josephine, we already know each other.
Right.
We might as well just, But I wonder, are those people truly happy? Is what I have to ask.
No, they're not, and they're not. And
they're settled.
And I can kind of go into, I can say 5 things that I believe that are important, and this is the lack of things is why people end up getting divorced and shit like that. First thing, people aren't becoming friends, and Kat, you kind of touched on this, and YB, you as well. Like, these people aren't friends. Like, you meet somebody and you're attracted to them. You may have sex or whatever. You might get pregnant. Back in the day, that's what they used to do. Now, this is my wife for life. You know what I'm saying? Even though you don't really like this bitch. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. These people aren't developing friendships. And that's why I'm so... And we can kind of go into this as maybe another topic or something, because I got a little story for this. But, like, people are so quick to try to jump into shit. They're not developing those friendships. And the person that you marry is supposed to be your best friend. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be able to tell them anything. Which draws me to my second thing. Communication. I've said this, Kat, you just touched on it. there's three things that I absolutely require in any type of relationship. Communication. You have to be able to tell me if you're not happy with something, if you want something different, if you want to bring a third person into the situation. If that's how you feel, you need to tell me. Even though I'm not with that shit, but you need to be able to express that to me and feel comfortable enough to express that to me as, going back to number one, my friend. You should be able to say that shit to me without feeling that I'm gonna fucking divorce you, or you know what I'm saying, or the shit is over. Three,
Right.
Consistency. You gotta be consistent with whatever the fuck you do. If you start out fucking sending me flowers every Monday, I need you to do that shit 20 years from now. Send me flowers every fucking Monday. Because you've gotten me used to that shit, and that's what the fuck I'm expecting from you. If you come home every night at 7 o'clock, after you get off work at 6:30 and you home at 7, 10 years from now, don't start coming home at 10:30. I'm going to have a problem with that. Honesty. That's number 4. Honesty. Be completely honest, which ties into communication. Yeah. I need you to be completely fucking honest with me. How you feel, what you want, is this shit, or you not happy? Is the shit not working? I need you to communicate that to me. Because that could be something that we can definitely work on to improve the relationship. And the last thing, and I hear old people say this shit all the time, and I feel like a lot of them don't do it, but continue to date your fucking husband or wife or whatever. You have to date. You can't just get so comfortable to where you're sitting at home. And me being a person that gets bored very easily, I can't sit at home every single night. There's shit that I like to do that excites me. I like going out to eat. I like going out to have cocktails. I like going out and trying new things. I like picnics. I like all that kind of shit. I like operas. I like that kind of stuff. Once a week, we need to at least have one date, whether it's fucking going and walking around the fucking neighborhood and just, you know what I mean? And just having a good conversation. That's just something that we've gotten used to. That's something that's routine for us. And that's something that, you know, is going to keep us on the track to where we can incorporate all of those other 4 things that I just talked about. Communication, honesty, consistency. It all works together. And I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but that shit is so fucking important. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like so many people do not do that. And that's kind of the crumble of a lot of marriages and relationships. I'm sorry.
I don't think a lot of people understand that courting is not just exclusive to snagging the guy or the girl, getting into the relationship. The courting continues on until death do you part, bitch. Right. Even after the marriage, even after the honeymoon phase, 10, 20, 30 years from now, the courting never stops. You still have to wow me. You still have to make me feel like I'm your everything, because I'm definitely going to do the best I can to make you feel that way. And it's still, like you said, if those things just stop, girl, please, all bets are off at that point. I do think that's one of the major issues is people get complacent, people get too comfortable, people fall out of love. I also tell people this too, that puppy love shit. People get so surprised when their high school sweetheart doesn't work out. Girl, you're not done growing as an individual yet. That's why that young love shit never works out the way it does. You guys are caught up in hormonal passions, child. You're not advanced yet. You haven't gone through certain life experiences yet, because our current decisions are based on our current experiences, our past experiences. So you don't know what you're going to develop to into the future. And usually it's not until you reach the cusp of about 30 to where you finally kind of are like, okay, this is who I may end up being for the rest of my life.
Can I kindly disagree? I think if you two are growing together, because you both are so young, and you both are on the same level mentally, and y'all are growing together, that shit can work. I.e., my brother and my sister-in-law. They've been together since they were in middle school. And they're happily married now. They've been through a little bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But they're both like mentally. My brother has his own businesses, restaurants and shit. She's a nurse and she's actually helping him run his business now. So they're like growing together and they're on the same page and this shit is working and they're happy.
But that's so rare. When you said middle school, like, girl, I was talking about high school because I've never heard about
Well,
people being in love since middle school. But that's extremely rare, though. Like, extremely rare. I think that's a forgotten time.
Maybe because that's just a personal, you know.
Right. I love to hear it. I'm happy for them. I wish more situations would begin like that. But I just think for this time period now, I just think there's too much accessibility. And, shout out to your brother, though. He seems like a good man because I know that's right.
He's good. He's a good
I
guy.
just think it speaks to the fact that both parties have to be committed to the growth, like you said, Jace. Both of them were growing at the same time, and I think a lot of times things don't work out because if we're looking at it from a heteronormal standpoint, women mature a lot faster than men. So around like 18, when she's going off to college, she's thinking about what I'm going to do when I get out of my career. He trying to get his dick wet. He trying to have fun. He trying to go to all the parties. He trying to F all the girls. So by the time he's grasped the true meaning of life and he want to get serious, he's like 26, 27. By that time, she is 4 years into her career, probably dating somebody at her job and is about to get serious. So that's why those situations don't work out. And to credit you, YB, that is rare. That's so early. He is very serious about what he wants to do and is committed to the growth. I know shit happens, like you said, Jace, but for him to be so laser focused on what he wanted to do is rare. That for a man, unless there's an iron fist telling you what you will do with your life, a lot of men decide between. That's why our prime is so late in life, because from teen years to like 30, you doing what the hell you want to do because you can. Because the world has made it okay, even though there's police brutality against black men. The world has kind of coddled the black man. Like, oh, he's just a man. He's okay. He's doing his thing. Boys will be boys. And they know that. We know that.
Well, everyone, that concludes this episode of the Kitty Box Podcast. We really appreciate you guys joining us. Please make sure to follow everybody on the panel, The Cat's Meow, and Jace Ambition, and myself, YB Entertainment TV. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Good night.